So over the next couple of minutes, I want to describe to you where the university is today. I'm not going to ignore the fact that we are now at a strange point in our history where Corona has completely influenced how the university is running, but you're going to hear a lot about that from other speakers in our festivities today. But I don't want to forget that we are here celebrating Ben-Gurion University's 50th birthday. And that's what I want to take the time to see. How are we at the age of 50? And to understand how we are at 50 and where we're going, we need to step back for a second and see where were we at our beginnings. I want to take you back to the 4th Board of Governors meeting. At the 4th Board of Governors meeting, the University of the Negev was renamed Ben-Gurion University of the Negev. And at that occasion, the first president, Dr. Moshe Prof, said the following: "The greatness of David Ben-Gurion was threefold: practical achievement, foresight, and unlimited faith in the future of the state of Israel and the Jewish people." Prof then asked whether Ben-Gurion University would be able to capture and deploy this combination of realism, tenacity, and achievement in its own goals. At 50, I have to say that the answer is a resounding yes. BGU exhibits precisely these characteristics, and that is what has made our journey truly remarkable, and the results so far beyond our wildest dreams. Personally, for me, it's hard to believe that only a year ago, you ratified my appointment as president. Last year at these festivities, on stage and in person, I said the following: BGU embodies everything that brought me to Israel and everything that is great about Israel today. We are without a doubt Israel's university of the future. So here we are at age 50. And I don't know about you, for those of you who are over 50, but 50 is also a good time to look in the mirror. And sometimes we can be surprised that the reflection is not the same reflection we had when we were 25. That doesn't mean we haven't had undeniable achievements over the past 50 years, but there's always room for improvement. We have to keep pace with other universities which are also striving to improve themselves. Over this past year, we were ranked 15th in the world in the Nature Index of young universities, universities under the age of 50. But whoops, we've graduated. Next year, we're not going to be part of the same index. And when we look where we are in international rankings of established universities, we're not in the top 50. We're not even in the top 100. We're closer to 400 or 500. And as president, personally, that's not where we want to be. And as a university, I know that that's not where we want to be. And I got news, I'll give you the good news now. That's not where we're going to be either. To make sure that that's not where we're going to be, over the past year, I've led a process to develop a strategic program for the university to lead us into past 50 towards 100. This process has been a bottom-up process that's brought together the three populations of the university: the academic staff, the administrative staff, and our students. As part of this process, we asked, what do we want to be? Where do we want to be? And I'm happy to tell you that the goal of everyone that's articulated is that we strive to be Israel's premier and leading university and one of the leading universities in the world. So once we came up with this goal, we said, well, how are we going to reach that goal? And the answer is simple. We have to attract the best talent to Ben-Gurion University, whether it be in the academic staff, in the administrative staff, or in the students. We have to be a magnet for talent. Why is this so important that we bring the best researchers and the best scientists to Ben-Gurion University? It's because we have to acknowledge that our impact on Beersheba, our impact on the Negev, and indeed our impact on Israel and the whole world emanates from our excellence. I ask you to imagine, for example, two universities in the cities where you come from, the leading university and a secondary university. The leading university in that city has a larger impact than the secondary university. And the reason it has that larger impact is because it has higher excellence. The better we will be as a university, the more excellence we have in research, the larger our impact in Beersheba, the larger our impact in the Negev, the larger impact in Israel and the larger our impact in the world. So if we look at our overall goal of being the leading university, we will then be able to increase or fulfill Ben-Gurion's dream of having the Negev lead Israel forward. So if that's our strategy, to be a magnet for talent, what are the roadblocks that keep us from reaching this strategy? And that's what we did as part of the process. We tried to identify what are the roadblocks that are present right now in the university that we see in the mirror that we can get rid of. And once we identify those roadblocks and get rid of them, then we can leverage our strengths and really move forward to becoming that leading university. So what are some of these barriers? Well, I don't want to go into all the details because it's a very long and detailed plan with many, many steps. But for example, we've noticed that we can change the academic structure of the university. That one of our strengths is going to be promoting interdisciplinary research. And you've heard about this probably many times. But we identified that the current academic structure may be getting in the way of this interdisciplinary approach. So we can make changes in this. We need to maybe formulate new recruitment methods which enable us to identify those stars, whether they be in the United States, whether they be in Europe, or whether they be in Israel, and attract them to Ben-Gurion University. We noticed that we need to make changes in the bureaucracy, or to be blunt, to cut the red tape. We need to be a university that is lean and flexible, that we can make decisions and follow them through quickly. And we need to change the way we raise money. We need to raise money, do our fundraising in a focused manner that fits the strategy of the university. And when we get rid of all of these roadblocks, the sky is the limit, and we will get rid of these roadblocks. We've now made task forces that are examining each and every one of them and have developed work plans for getting rid of these roadblocks and moving beyond. Now we have to take these new changes in the way we do things and leverage them within the strengths of the university or opportunities that we haven't seen through. And you know many of these strengths. First and foremost, at Ben-Gurion University, we have a staff with a clear and deep connection to the Ben-Gurion University spirit. What I call the Bgu Dna is ingrained in everything that we do. The North Campus is an unbelievable opportunity for the university to grow in its next 50 years. We have islands of true national and international excellence within the university, including in fields that don't always get the spotlight, such as psychology, such as chemistry, and other fields which you've heard much about. We have Negev-specific areas of research, for example, in the Sde Boker campus and the Blaustein Institutes for Desert Research. We're a socially aware community. We are acutely aware that everything we do influences the communities around us. We're the only university in Israel that has a hospital on its campus. Our interaction with the Soroka University Medical Center is key to our success and to our future. And as a university, we have national importance with historical connection to Israel's first prime minister, for example, in the archives of David Ben-Gurion. The Advanced Technology Park enables us to do research and to interact with industry in a way that no other university in Israel can. And this has led to these industry-academia interactions, which are just pushing the university forward and open avenues of employment for our students. The move of the IDF south, and especially of its elite intelligence and computing units, is an untapped and unrealized potential, which is going to have an amazing effect on the university. And there's the advantages we have locally of being in Beersheba, being in the Negev, a low cost of living. I want to tell you about a new project that you might have heard about, the Israel's Innovation District, which is being designed as we speak at the interface between Ben-Gurion University, Soroka Hospital, the Advanced Technologies Park, and the communities, the neighborhoods around the university. This innovation district, which has been recognized and funded from Israel's Prime Minister's office, is going to be Israel's center of innovation in things like cyber, in things like agriculture and desert tech, in things like medical informatics. An entire culture of startups and restaurants and culture is going to be growing around the university at this intersection. And it's an incredible opportunity to imagine where we're going to be in 10 and 20 years. Over 2 million shekels has already been invested by the Prime Minister's office in designing this district. All of this together means that the ecosystem that we are so proud of is going to keep growing and developing with Ben-Gurion University at its center. And if we leverage these advantages together with getting rid of the roadblocks, the sky is the limit for our ability to really attract that talent that is so necessary for us to make the next step in Ben-Gurion University's evolution. But while we are a comprehensive university, we have to realize that there are certain areas where we can excel more than any other university in the world. And we need to put a magnifying glass on these and further develop them. This isn't to say that we're going to ignore other fields, of course, but there are certain places that will be defining us as a university and that we maybe need to make certain changes in order to leverage their advantages. And I'm just going to give a couple examples first. There was consensus throughout every person we spoke to throughout the strategic process that one of the strengths of Ben-Gurion University is in the fields of sustainability, desert studies, water, climate change, energy, all these things that defined us as a university in the beginning to find solutions for Israel are now so relevant for the entire world. And maybe we need to found a new faculty or a new school which will integrate the Sde Boker campus, the Blaustein Institutes, together with the expertise on the Marcus campus in order to promote this field and really make Ben-Gurion University the world leader in the field of climate change and sustainability. Another area is the field of Israel studies. Having Ben-Gurion's archives, Amos Oz's archives, the Herzog archives, this is just an outstanding opportunity. And maybe we can merge these archives and the study of them together with the departments of Jewish history and Jewish thought or Israel history, Hebrew literature, into a school of Israel studies, both for Israel and for collaborations with leading universities around the world. Another example is cyber. You've heard about cyber many times in different events at Ben-Gurion University. The founding of the Deutsche Telekom Cyber Labs, together with the localization of the National Cybersecurity Center at the ATP, positioned Ben-Gurion University as the leading cyber center in academia in Israel. Its research outputs are among the highest in the university. The planned relocation of the intelligence units, as I mentioned, and the computing center next to campus position us in a place where we will become, or have the potential to become, the leading cyber computing institute, one of the leading institutes in the world. And what we need to do now is then just put all the different units that deal with cyber, computers, under one type of structure, whether it be a school or a faculty, so everything cyber, everything computing can be organized and our students can freely move between different subfields of the high-tech industry. We need to further leverage our connections with the Soroka University Hospital and find new ways of interacting. We're already doing that amazingly with the the National Autism Center, ABC Robotics, or the Nutrition Center. The potential here is great, and you're going to hear about wonderful things we've done over the past 2 months in COVID-19 research. This is an incredible potential for the university that we need to further leverage. And we also have islands of unrealized potential. Many of you maybe have never heard of the Ben-Gurion University of the Negev, Eilat campus. Yes, we have a small campus in Eilat that over the years, in my mind and in the mind of many others, has been underutilized. But this campus has the potential to grow into a unique learning and research environment. For example, we can leverage its advantages of being in Eilat, with Eilat being a tourist hub and on the sea, to develop programs in tourism management, international programs in tourism management, and in developing the fields such as sea technologies. These are just some of the examples of developments and recommendations that are in the strategic plan for us to now develop over the next coming years. Before I close, I want to just recap on some of the major accomplishments that we've had over the past year. And really, these accomplishments were unthinkable 25 years ago and definitely unthinkable 5 years ago. For example, 4 of our young recruits were recently awarded the very prestigious starting grants from the European Research Council. These are the most prestigious and most competitive research grants within the entire European theater. Ben-Gurion University was chosen to house the National Autism Research Center over other universities in Israel. Our researchers developed solutions for cyber attacks, physical attacks, and as we'll hear soon, also viral attacks, physical viral attacks. We established a new undergraduate honors program that is attracting the top undergraduate students from across the country. It's an interdisciplinary honors program where students have the freedom to choose their courses of study throughout all 3 years of study and continue straight on to a master's degree. We broke ground on a new building, the David Ben-Gurion Archives on our Stable Care campus, which will not only provide public access to this invaluable resource, but also enable groundbreaking research into the history of Zionism itself. I'd like to acknowledge some very important and heartfelt gifts that we've received over the past year. Professor Richie Friedman has given us a living legacy, which is going to endow a Center for Research on Traumatic Brain Injury. The Canadian and Israeli philanthropist Sylvan Adams has provided us the funding to enable us to completely renovate our sports center. Patrick Drahy has given the lead gift for another building in the North Campus, the Building for Innovation. Our dear and long-term friend Nachum Guzik provided me a singular gift which enabled me to hire Dr. Ben Palmer, one of our young stars in chemistry. Without that donation, Ben Palmer would be at a different university in Israel today. Roberta and Ernie Scheller have provided the funds for the Gate of Innovation, which will be leading into the North Campus. The estate of Manya Eigel from the UK is enabling us to found a new center on nutrition and food security. David Benjis gave us funding for 5 years worth of scholarships in entrepreneurship and to underwrite the Cactus Fund. The estate of Lolita Goldstein and the estate of Sarah Luby have given us funds for the development of the university. Also, long-term friends Marvin Israelov and Dorian Goldman have given us another pledge for funds for the Medical School for International Health. Stanley and Miriam Newman endowed graduate scholarships. Morris Kahn has continued his generous support for research. A year ago, with the hiring of Vice President Jeff Kay, we set a goal of ourselves to significantly widen the global reach of Ben-Gurion University and to establish new associate organizations and revive others which had been slightly dormant over the past couple of years. We haven't spared a minute of efforts towards completing this task, and I am delighted to announce the following new appointments. Mr. Jacobo Meckler has been appointed president of our reestablished BGU Associates in Mexico, a position that has not been filled for over a decade. Ms. Marie-Hélène Bernard has assumed the role of president of the French Associates of Ben-Gurion University. Mr. Philippe Mouchard was appointed the president of the revived Belgian Associates of Ben-Gurion University. Mr. Andrea Jarac recently accepted the position of president of a newly formed Italian Associates of Ben-Gurion University. And last, but certainly not least, longtime member of the Board of Governors, Dr. Major General Yom Tov Samia, committed 2 weeks ago to establish Ben-Gurion University's Israel Associates Organization. And that brings me to a wonderful win-win announcement. Last week, Mr. Gary DeBode was chosen by ABGU to replace Ms. Tony Young as the organization's president. Gary is an outstanding leader. He's a graduate of the Zinn Fellows and a generous philanthropist, and we all look forward to working with him. But by no means are we losing Tony. Given the considerable appointments that these outstanding appointments allow us, Lloyd has decided to appoint Tony as vice chair of the Board of Governors with specific responsibility for our global campaign and development efforts. Working with Jeff Kay, these new presidents and our existing ones, Lionel Halpern, Harold Paisner, Nava Rubenzada, and Mitch Olbaum, and our global fundraising staff, she will help lead BGU to more corners of the world, building bridges and bringing invaluable resources so that the university can reach the heights that we all aim for. And in closing, I want to go back to Corona for a second. I want you to think if any other university in the world has or could accomplish what we did. On March 7th, Ben-Gurion University of the Negev had a handful of classes that were available online. On March 11th, we had over 2,000 courses available online, and the entire university was being given through e-learning. All of our students continued their degrees on time with no delays, and this year, doctors and psychologists and engineers and historians will be finishing their degrees on schedule. On March 11th, I made a call. I gathered researchers from Ben-Gurion University together and asked them to work together to try to find solutions for COVID-19. And within 2 and 3 weeks, we had research results, findings, developments that have influenced not only Israel and in the world, and you're going to soon hear about them. What other university could respond as quickly as Ben-Gurion University of the Negev has? And this brings me back to what I was talking about last year. What we have done is nothing short of remarkable. As last year I said, and I stand by this today, we are without a doubt not only Israel's university of the future, but we are Israel's university of the present. Thank you very much.